outside. It's not really cold, but it is a little gray. It's a perfect time to curl up with a new book. So here with her tips for new reads for the fall, please welcome from the King County Library System, librarian Emily Calkins. It's good to have you here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You made some wonderful choices. Now, are these all, no, I can see they're not all fiction. At least one of them is a book that I'm reading right now. But let's talk about the first one, Artemis by Andy Weir.
Yes, so you may recognize the name Andy Weir. He wrote a little book called The Martian.
Yes.
Came out a couple years ago. So it's always really exciting when somebody who had a big book like that has their second book coming out. And this one's totally different.
The Martian was his first book.
Isn't that astonishing?
Wow,
yes.
I don't think I realized, well, I know I didn't realize that. Okay, so what's this one about?
So this one is set on Artemis, which is the first and only colony on the moon, and the main character is a porter, so she basically carries luggage for the ultra-rich who come to vacation or to do business, but she can't really scrape by on her porter's salary, so she has sort of a smuggling business on the side.
So it's sort of like Star Wars meets something else.
Yeah, kind of like a space caper.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Is it funny? Is it dramatic?
Yeah, so it's funny. It's like lighthearted in the same way that The Martian was, and it also has that like super realistic that made The Martian so engaging.
Right.
So all the stuff about the moon colony is like, we could actually build a moon colony, and this is what it would be like.
Now, one of the features of The Martian was that it used such real science throughout it, and that was, you know, really appealing along with the dramatic story and some of the funny lines that Matt Damon had. Is this book kind of similar in that way?
Yeah, it's similar in that way. So the science should all be realistic, but it's got that same sort of funny, lighthearted tone and like a really engaging story.
I see a movie in his future again.
Absolutely.
Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart.
Yes, so this is a young adult book, so buy a copy for the teen in your life, but buy your own copy too.
I like young adult literature. I don't know what that says about me. When they said that about Hunger Games, I was like, well, what are you talking about? These are great books.
Yeah, totally. So this one is one that you're going to start before bed and you're going to stay up all night to finish it.
Wow.
It is a one-sitting, you know, can't put it down story.
Why?
It's about two friends. I don't want to give away too much of the plot because it's super twisty and some of the fun is like getting those big reveals, but it's about two teenage girls who have that kind of like super intense, super involved friendship that you can really only have when you're a teenage girl. So one is Imogen. She's this sort of charismatic but careless trust fund kid, and Jewel is her friend, who's totally the opposite of her. She's kind of a chameleon. She comes from nothing, and it's about the way that their friendship kind of unravels.
Page turner.
Yeah.
Little Fires Everywhere, Celeste Ng.
Yes, so Celeste Ng's first book was a big favorite among library staff, and we're really excited about how much attention her new book is getting. It is a wonderful book. It's set in Shaker Heights, Ohio, which is an upscale suburb of Cleveland, and it opens with sort of the perfect family standing, watching their house burn down. It's been set on fire by the youngest daughter.
Oh my goodness.
And then it goes back to the beginning of the year and sort of tells you how it got to this point. So if you read Big Little Lies, which was turned into a TV show, it's that same kind of structure where it opens with a big event.
Interesting.
And then goes back to the beginning and how did we get to this point?
To this point,
Yep.
okay. And what was her earlier book?
Her first book is called Everything I Never Told You.
Also a good one?
Also very good, yeah.
Okay.
She writes about family and sort of secrets and how those things unravel. And
it's good if you find a book like this that you like. It's always fun to go back and see what else they've written and add that in. Okay, We Were 8 Years in Power from Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yes, so you probably recognize Ta-Nehisi Coates' name. He is a writer for The Atlantic. This is a collection of essays, one for each year of the Obama administration that he wrote while Obama was in office. But it's also, each essay is accompanied by a new piece that's about his life. So when Obama was beginning his campaign, Ta-Nehisi Coates was unemployed. He was just sort of a struggling writer. And by the time that Obama was out of office, Coates was a National Book Award winner, a MacArthur Genius. So these essays are really smart. They're really insightful. He writes about race and politics in a really unique way. And then the new pieces are about his own life and sort of what was happening.
Right.
So it's a combination of essay and memoir
Tell
that's
us-
really
I'm
interesting.
sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Tell us about his previous books.
Yeah, so his first, I believe it's his first book, is called Between the World and Me. It's a memoir that's written as a letter to his teenage son, and it's about growing up as a black man in this country and what that looks like. So he writes about race, both from a political standpoint and from a really personal standpoint. And it's really, he's just an astonishing writer.
He really is. I mean, he not only brings in, you know, issues that we can all sort of understand from an academic point of view, but he illustrates them by drilling deeply into his own emotions and his own life. And I think you can't come away from anything he writes, whether it's in the Atlantic or his books, without feeling something and learning something new at a time when it's so important for us to listen to one another.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the national conversation about race is in a really sort of fraught place right now. And if you want to be involved in that conversation, he's such a great starting point.
I heard somebody say recently, if you just want to be a good, decent person, please listen to somebody whose experience is different from yours. Just listen and see what you can learn. I think these books are a great way to do that.
Absolutely.
Sing, Unburied, Sing by Jasmine Ward.
Yeah, so this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous book. It's about a 13-year-old boy named Jojo. He lives in rural Mississippi with his parents, or his grandparents, and his toddler-age sister. His mom is a drug addict, and she's sort of in and out of their lives. And they find out at the beginning of the book that his father is going to be released from prison. And Mom decides that Jojo and his sister and she need to take a road trip across Mississippi to pick up their father from prison. It's not an easy book.
So it's a pick-me-up,
yeah,
kind
right.
of a happy holiday
Right,
book.
maybe start with this one and then go back to Artemis for a little more fun. But it's just, she is such a beautiful writer. It's really, the language is really lush, it's really lyrical. She brings this part of the country that we don't read about very often. She just brings it to life in a really unique way. It was just named a finalist for the National Book Award.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds very atmospheric.
Yes, very atmospheric, the sense of Mississippi. It has a little bit of magical realism in it that just works because of the way that she writes it. So it's really wonderful.
So tell me a little bit about the library's website and ways we can find, you know, if we liked this book, here's something else we can discover.
Yeah.
Everybody I know is always, you know, we panic when we reach the end of a book because you want that next one lined up. What should we be doing?
So our website is kcls.org, and right at the top, if you click on books and more and then click on books, we have a whole page of stuff about books. We also have a service called Book Match. So if you are looking for personalized recommendations, there's a little form you can fill out and tell us, oh, I really loved Sing, Unburied, Sing, or the Ta-Nehisi Coates book. Can you help me find more? And a librarian will create a personalized list for you.
That is so cool. The library is just the coolest place. You're even, I think you're letting people check out tools.
We are not letting people check out tools, but there are tool libraries. Yeah, so in West Seattle, and I think there's one in Green Lake, there are tool libraries where you can go and get whatever kind of tool you need for your home
craziness.
project.
Okay, I had my libraries confused, but you do amazing things. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
And to help our studio audience get going with their reading, everybody's going home with a copy of Sing, Unburied, Sing. So we hope you enjoy that book. Read it when the sun's out so it doesn't bring you down.
Yeah.
Up next, a festival highlighting local films around the Pacific Northwest. We'll be back with that after this.